LBR LBO Infrastructure Summit 2016.
Good evening to you, everybody. Honorable Dr. Harsha De Silva, my colleagues on the panel. Today, we've seen a lot for the day from the port city, from the megalopolis, from the plants. You see a lot of physical layer that's been shown, but my job is creating the virtual layer. And that's the virtual layer that completely surrounds this entire infrastructure and connects not just about this whole concept of the port city and the megalopolis as a whole, since the subject matter today is that, but it's also about linking those entire regions across the world and to people across the world so that they could facilitate digital commerce, and we could make sure that those places and the landscapes that are being built can be well utilized and makes productive use. Now that's fundamentally my job. What we say we're doing this, we're also talking about many aspects of different generations coming into this ecosystem. Now, when I say different generations, I got a son who is 11 years old who plays games on the net with variety of people, different people from different parts of the world on different networks. But I got a dad, who physically wants to see his children and wants to have dinner with them, and that's the type. And we are in between. As these spaces all get created, what really would happen is that we will create new environments for collaborative working. And these collaborative working spaces have to be well designed to cater to the needs of just not only the people in this country, but also to a global audience that you have. And that's the type of things. Now, on one side, while we do that, and we drive all this, there's going to be digitization, there's going to be everything's going to move towards smart, you're going to have analytics, you're going to have devices that do sensoring, so many things, and there would be a variety of data. How do you build on this data and things like that? Those are the other set of challenges that the country will face, and those are things that needs to be brought in. But putting this whole piece is one beautiful game. And I would see it like a game, building blocks, putting things across. How are they going to interconnect? How are they going to work? But where is government? Beautiful. If you still have to go to a bank to open your bank account, that's a fundamental issue. If you still have to go to a mobile operator to get your mobile phone connection, that's a fundamental issue. Right? If you want to get your documents attested, you need to go to a lawyer, visit them. That's a fundamental issue in the next generation. You want to do all that from your space that you live. You don't want to go to a bank to open a bank account. You don't want to go to a lawyer to basically get your attestation. You don't want to go to a government institution to get all your work done. And this is the type of change that we are bringing in within government to fit this entire vision across to be a global hub and to trade across. So it's not just about making sure that we have these things done, but it has to be very carefully and very collaboratively architected, and it has to integrate into such developments that take place. Otherwise, there is going to be a lack. The next point is, while we do this, we need to ensure that our citizens uplift themselves further. These spaces are not just for the rich, it's not just for the poor, it's all that. And if we don't build capacity within the country, we don't uplift the citizens of this country, we are going to create digital poverty. And that's something that we're really working on, where we're uplifting rural communities and bringing services to their doorstep so that they could be a lot more energetic, a lot more efficient, and they could actually do trade across from their entire rural space, wherever a farmer from Polonnaruwa should be able to sell his goods and services. Now, these are type of things that are basically built. Now, what happens is when you build a hub, there's a hub that exists, there is trade that happens, but there is an entire ecosystem around it that needs to supply into this hub. And that would come from different parts. And those have to get connected, and they have to work, and these would have to be done digitally. Right? Orders will be placed digitally. Government services would have to be digitally enabled. So these are the things that needs to happen, and these are the challenges Sri Lanka faces today. Our drive is to ensure that we support this activity and we virtually bring in digital government into a much stronger space where you can actually do all your services on a mobile-first basis, just from your mobile phone. And this is one of the reasons the government basically embarked. The tenders are closed. We just closed for the National Digital Identity Program, where every citizen will have an NFC card. You give your whole details, you should be able to apply for your passport directly from the phone. Now, that's the type of services that are coming in. Right, your deeds will be digitally, because the land registry, we have already started with the land registry. All your title deeds and all that would be digitally available. You can actually send it across to a bank, and the bank doesn't have to do it. Within few minutes, they can actually decide whether they want to give you a loan or not. And these are the type of services that have to actually flow in, because pace, economic activity, will be determined by the speed in which a transaction is completed. And that's the key. You delay this transaction, that means you're economically going down further. And we need to get this cycle faster and faster, because our benchmark is not within Sri Lanka, but it's on a global scale that we are being benchmarked. Now, on the other side, we've got beautiful beaches, we have great spaces, we have great talent in software, in all this. But Sri Lanka by itself is not just going to be, outsourcing center. We got to develop products and services. We got to develop, our new startup ecosystems that are being built. We want to encourage people from all around the world to basically come here and participate with local talent and build new products. Just not get someone to develop code and pay them for the code. That's not what we want. And that's the ecosystem that will bring in high-value jobs, which would make sure that people could actually invest in such properties and such markets down the line. And that's the type of ecosystem that we're building, and we are very collectively working with all government agencies in order to ensure this. And we make sure everything is successful. So I would leave it on that note, but digitization is a key topic of this 21st century, and it's something that would determine the economy of this country, and that's what digital economy has been placed as the national policy statement by our Honorable Prime Minister in Parliament. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
LBR LBO Infrastructure Summit 2016.